And we will close this opening ceremony by Executive Director of Smart Networks and Services Joint Undertaking, Erzse Fitori. Welcome to the stage, and round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the kind invitation. It is great to be back to Riga and great to see the Techritory event growing, becoming more important. It is a great honor to speak after Executive Vice President Virkkunen and the dignitaries of the Latvian government. And it's also a humbling experience. What else is there to say after so much wisdom that we have just heard? What I will try to do is that I will try to focus a bit and zoom in on the role of advanced communications, specifically 6G, when it comes to the digital sovereignty, the economic security, and also the competitiveness of Europe. Then I would like to look at a little bit what we are doing already at the European level. What is it that the Smart Networks and Services Joint Undertaking and its projects are doing to actually foster European competitiveness? And thirdly, I will propose a few ideas for the future. How can we do it better? How can we do it faster with greater impact? So first of all, what you can see on the slides, on the first slide, is really looking at the critical technologies that the European Commission has identified for economic security. And what I would like to really just highlight, what is really quite striking, is the overlap, the interdependence with the components and subsystems of 6G. So if you look at especially the ones which are kind of in a lighter frame, semiconductors, artificial intelligence, robotics, sensing, connecting space with the ground, these are all actually either directly or indirectly dependent or part of the 6G system and the 6G vision. Advanced connectivity is there as a critical technology itself, but I think this interdependence and also the enabling role for other critical technologies has been increasing over time. And if I add also the positions of Europe and other parts of the world in terms of leadership in these technology areas, it is really important to see that advanced connectivity, sensing are two key areas where Europe is leading. Europe is home actually to the global leaders when it comes to communications technologies. But perhaps it makes less of headlines than investments and global efforts in AI development. Other parts of the world, our peers, our competitors, are seeing 6G increasingly as a strategic asset, as a strategic capacity, and they are increasing their investment efforts in advanced communications. So the global race is really on. Why is advanced connectivity, why is 6G so important? Because we are actually moving through a phase of a paradigm shift. We are moving from connectivity as we know it today, 4G, 5G, to multi-domain orchestration with 6G. The capabilities will go beyond pure connectivity. One example that you can see on my slide is ISEC, Integrated Sensing and Communications Technology. 6G networks will not just be making data transfers, they will not just connect voice and data, but they will be actually networks capable of sensing the environment, sensing objects, sensing motion and context. And these new capabilities, I think, give rise to fantastic opportunities. and also a new paradigm when our connectivity networks will be so much more. If you connect these new capabilities, such as sensing, also with computing power, with its native AI nature, I think we can very confidently say that we are going through a paradigm shift which will enable other sectors, which will be critical for what we have just heard, autonomous mobility. And by that, we don't only mean vehicles. It could be, for example, indeed drones. It can be used for defense purposes, but also really enabling the transformation of other sectors so that they can remain competitive in the global stage. We have also heard that the moment is now. It is genuinely now for 6G as well. The definition of 6G system in the 3GPP process has officially started in 2025. And it is both a huge opportunity as well as a challenge for Europe. Obviously, how the technical specifications and standards will look like and who will have intellectual property rights will have a huge impact on how these new technologies, these new intelligent platforms, which will be the fiber, basically, of our economies and societies and defense capabilities as well, will be controlled and leveraged in an economic sense as well. Something that is also very important for Europe, of course, that in the development of the new 6G technology, we would like to see European values, key values such as sustainability, privacy, built in, maintained, and we would like it to be trustworthy and secure by design. What I really want to leave with you as a message is that whilst autonomous mobility or indeed collaborative robots sound like very futuristic, or indeed a network that is sensing and positioning and is enabling perhaps real-time digital twins, it sounds extremely futuristic, but actually this is happening right now in front of our eyes and under our watch. So what do we do in Europe? What is the European model to address these challenges and opportunities when it comes to 6G? It is the Smart Networks and Services Joint Undertaking, which is the European path, essentially, towards future connectivity. As we have heard from the ministers before, collaboration is very important in order for Europe to be successful, and indeed we are a public-private partnership between the European Commission and the 6G Industry Association as our private member. We are strongly associated with governments. In fact, Latvia is chairing the state's representative group of the SNSJU. Researchers, industrial stakeholders, we have them as strategic advisors. And we also have international cooperation embedded in our program. What do? We implement Horizon Europe, 900 million euros of Horizon Europe funding matched by equal private investments, and these are invested into research and innovation projects. Our impact is measured against KPIs, such as, for example, the participation of SMEs or the number of standard contributions or indeed the number of patents. And we deliver. As we have heard before from the Executive Vice President, Europe has research excellence, and I think it shows in the already existing outputs of our program. We have a portfolio by the end of 2025 of roughly 100 research and innovation projects and 630 million euros invested into these projects. These projects are working indeed on some of the key technology areas that will be shaping 6G, but the impact of these technologies will go far beyond, as I have explained. Such as all aspects of native AI networks, also integrated sensing and positioning, security aspects, the integration of terrestrial and non-terrestrial networks, and also creating a European framework for sustainability in 6G, and also how 6G will enable the sustainability of other sectors. What you can see is really the statistics of the key technology areas that our projects are focusing on, but I'm also very proud that more than 1,000 standard contributions have been achieved from our projects. We are seeing key momentum in securing European intellectual property rights, and also we are managing the first 6G testbeds and large-scale trials with the vertical industrial sectors. So there is, I think, a lot of success in our program, but is this enough in the changing world where we actually need to look more closely at economic security, at defense capabilities, but also, as Professor Draghi has said, competitiveness? And here I have a few ideas on what we could focus on from 2028, when Europe will have a new multi-annual financial framework and a new framework program for research. In order to deliver on our challenges and also the EU ambitions to lead, to remain secure, independent, sovereign, but still open. First of all, I would emphasize the importance of continued research, even accelerated research, in the field of resilience. This is a key area I think everybody recognizes the importance of, and here I think the integration of non-terrestrial and terrestrial networks will be very important, but also ensuring interoperability with EU defense frameworks. Secondly, AI, as you have heard, is the name of the game. We have a very strong portfolio of projects which are delivering the end-to-end concept and framework for 6G to be an AI native technology, but we also really need to ensure that our advanced communications networks are ready to support the AI continent ambitions and the concept of networks for AI. This is what we have heard actually from Professor Draghi in his speech reflecting on 1 year after the Draghi report. We have heard about the ongoing policy initiatives. SNSJU as a European tool, as a European instrument, has to be aligned and contribute to the success of European policies, including the forthcoming DNA and Cloud and Data Act. We have heard, I think, from the Foreign Affairs Minister of Latvia, the challenge of translating, and also from the Executive Vice President, the challenge of translating European innovations, the European scientific excellence into monetization, into real commercial success. And I think that this is a key area that perhaps in the future our program should focus on. We have seen the challenges for monetization of 5G networks, perhaps actually investing into experimentation of business models, of new services to make the new technology more adoptable and more market-ready could be a key area that could address the challenge that has been highlighted by our distinguished speakers. And 2 final points. I know I'm over time. Collaboration. I think collaboration, our collaborative model that brings together all the key stakeholders of the private side, of the public side, also integrating governments as strategic advisors into a program is a strength, and we should really build on that, and we should use this collaborative model to build scale and federate better across the whole of the European Union. And of course, our roadmaps must remain anchored in European values and in European key political objectives. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention and wish you a very nice day. Thank you.